Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, a tutorial after a really long time. So I'm going to show you how to do a smoky eye using my current favorite eyeshadow palette, the Gold Palette from Natasha Denona. So just to give you a colored smoky eye that you can use for any sort of occasion. Yeah. Right, so first up, foundation. I'm going to use my Too Faced Born This Way. And the color is golden. So just like one, not too much, not a full pump. I still end up just using like 3/4 of this and just using like any sort of, so this is a Morphe brush and it's just like a face brush. So anything like a stipple or buffer brush. Okay, so can you see I've still got some of the product left. So first I'm just gonna blend it into the skin. Next up, concealer. So I'm first going to use my Nars Radiant Concealer in Sucre. And I'm just going to apply it under the eyes. And as you can see, I've got a picked spot scar. So anywhere that I can see a little bit of something. I'm just going to take one of my beauty blenders. Don't mind the dirt. Have you noticed my backdrop, by the way? It's done by Boss Touch. I wanted the flowers, I wanted a bit of green, just to give it a bit of contrast. Just to have like a signature wall, just so that you guys recognize that it's my tutorial. I mean, obviously you would see my face in it, but... Okay, so just blended it out, so now you can't see the scar. Okay. Now I'm going to use my Tarte Shape Tape in medium. I'm not going to lie though, I hate the packaging. I mean, it just makes such a mess. But the product itself is great. So if you guys know any like really cool alternatives, you know, with better packaging, because look, okay, it's not as bad today, but normally when I close it, there's all this excess of product, which is really annoying. So I'm just going to take a slightly bigger beauty blender. And this is just to brighten it up. So can you see it's like giving me that sort of, and the reason, I mean, I like a nice bright under eye, I really do, but then it's also because I'm going to do a smoky eye and I'm going to go really dark on the eyes. So I feel like if my under eyes are, you know, not bright enough, I just don't want it to look like I've got circles, dark circles. But then, to be honest, even if I didn't do a smoky eye, I would have still done this. Okay. If you've watched like my older videos, you would have noticed that I usually tend to contour by doing the dark on the side. But I've probably now for a year, I've been doing this reverse contour thing where I just use, can you see? I just use the light in the middle and it automatically gives you that that illusion that I've got the lines that like on the side I've got it darker. Does that make sense? It just looks like as if I contoured it, but I haven't. I've just done a reverse contour because by making this lighter, it just gives me a shadow on the nose. And I feel like, yeah, it works for me better than what I used to do before, because I don't think I really was very good at doing the contouring. People used to always comment under my videos or my pictures, they're just like, what's up with your nose? In fact, my family used to always say that. As soon as I came out the room, they would just be like, I don't think you blended it very well. And I'm like, it's contouring. But anyway, okay, so this is like my foundation. And now I'm going to go on to contouring. So my favorite product, which is almost finished, is the Bobbi Brown foundation stick in 6.25. The reason 6.25, because it's more of a neutral color. So it's not very orangey. It's actually a little bit more of a cool tone, which I prefer. So a lot of people tend to do this and then just follow that line. But what happens is my cheek is there. And I want to give myself the illusion of a smaller face, so I'm just going to go a bit higher. So if I do, yeah, can you see? So instead of following this line or underneath, I'm just going above it. I'm just gonna make sure I do my jawline because I love a nice sharp jawline, and definitely my forehead because right now the foundation looks way too light around my forehead, because forehead you do tan, and also people tend to suffer from you know, pigmentation as well. Okay, the next brush I'm gonna pick up is these brush sets from Face. I actually really like these, so somebody gifted these to me, like a whole set from, you know, India, one of my students. So I actually really like the product. So what I'm doing now is just blending the product into my creamy foundation. Obviously don't do this if you have a powder foundation on, because it's gonna leave really bad patches. So ideally use cream products with cream, if that makes sense. It just blends so much easier. And then set it with powder. So I'll show you what I mean by this. So first, let me just... So here, instead of going up, because obviously I want my jawline to stick out, so what I'm doing is just contouring underneath the jawline. So it gives it that, can you see? It's just like giving me a sharp line now, because it's giving me a shadow underneath my jawline. Gosh, I feel like I haven't done a tutorial in so long that I'm actually really enjoying this. I am so sorry guys. If you do follow me like on Instagram or you know, Facebook, you would have seen that I've been traveling, oh my god, to at least like 5 countries in the last 3 months, and you know, all like sort of abroad, international flights, and it's been exhausting. It's been a lot of work, masterclasses, everything. So I've been trying my hardest to upload, but I have been uploading. I've just not been doing any tutorials because I've just not had time to sit in here and do this. But I'm going out tonight, and I thought, hey, I'm gonna do a really nice smoky you know, eyeshadow look using my new favorite Natasha Denona palette. So I thought I'll just teach you guys anyway. So as you were probably watching while I was talking, is just used whatever was left on the product just to sharpen out and contour slightly so it doesn't look so heavy anyway. Don't worry about the, you know, it all looks a little bit crazy. I do understand. So next I'm gonna set. If you want to use blusher at this point, today I'm not going to. I'm just going to do the contouring. I'm going to give it more of a tanned sort of evening look. But if you wanted this look for a daytime look and you wanted to add blusher, please use a cream or liquid blusher first. You know, set it, whatever, and then start setting the rest of it with powder. So I'm going to use my Laura Mercier powder. It's just like the standard translucent powder. And I'm just going to get a face brush. So this is... I have all sorts of brushes here, okay? So this is called Pack. Oh, so that's where the other brush is from as well. I am so sorry. So you know the one that I used earlier? This one, it's also Pack. I called it Face. It's not Face, it's Pack, okay? P-A-C, from India. So I'm using the face brush, and I'm just gonna brush it onto my skin. You can set it if you want. You can really press the product in as well. It's completely up to you. I would say if you feel like you have a lot of scars that you want to cover, then press the product in so it sets a little bit better. I'm just lightly touching it because I like the wet sort of foundation look, only because my skin's actually very dry. Never used to be. Yeah. So it doesn't look as harsh anymore. Or maybe it does, and you guys are just thinking I'm talking rubbish. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my Charlotte Tilbury brush. It's one of my favorite contour brush, but you know what, it doesn't have to be Charlotte Tilbury. As long as you have a tapered brush that you can use, I'm cool with it. So I'm using a MAC bronzing mineralized skin finish natural. So it's actually a bronzing color called Give Me Sun. So it's one of their oldest products. They've had this color for like the longest time. When I used to work in MAC, they used to have this product as well. So I'm just going to use some of this product, and I'm just going to give myself more of a tanned look. Because now, if you look, it's starting to look a bit more orangey. Yeah? And I'm fine with that, only because that's the look I'm going for. Coolio. So now I'm actually going to do my eye makeup before I even do my eyebrows, because I have a tendency to do my eyebrows really strong. If I wasn't doing a heavy smoky eyeshadow, then I would have done my eyebrows, I would have just done my mascara, maybe false lashes and lips, ta-da. But because I'm going to do really heavy on the eyes, I'm just going to basically leave the eyebrows till the end and not look like, you know, don't want to say it, but I'm gonna look really crazy otherwise. Okay, what I'm gonna use to do my eye makeup today is my Natasha Denona palette, and this one is the gold palette. So as you can see, it's got some really cool gold tones, but I love the greens. So well, it's not green, what is it, like turquoisey bluey sort of colors, and that's what I'm going to use today, guys. You don't really see me do colored eyeshadows often, so I thought, why not? Okay, so first up, Paintpot, but the color that I'm using is Layin Low. Unfortunately, I went to the MAC in Malaysia the other day, and they've sadly told me that they've discontinued the color Layin Low. So I'm gonna see if I can get hold of this in London. I'm very sad about it, because it actually became one of my absolute favorite colors, and I felt like it really went very well with you know, Indian skin tones. Right, so I'm going to take a Morphe brush. So I have, you know, my little brushes of Zoeva, Morphe. I might have a few MAC in there as well. So yeah, I feel like when you do makeup on yourself, just use the brushes that you're comfortable with. Okay, so I'm just gonna use the Layin Low all over the eyelid, and then use my finger to sort of blend it out. And can you see I put the product on the back of my hand. I never dip it straight into the product. I feel like this way your product lasts longer without, you know, getting all dirty and disgusting and drying out and stuff. You know, because these makeup products are obviously not cheap. And yeah, now that I know that it's discontinued, I want to make sure that it lasts me the longest time. So what's nice about the Paintpots is you can actually use them just on its own. Like I have done that. I've just used this and then just added a liner, and it just makes the liner pop because you have such a light background. So it's actually a really good idea to do that as well. But before this dries out, what I'm gonna do is use the Zoeva brush in 231, and I'm going to get the color. What I really like about it is like you can really see from the front like what the colors are called. Aria. Right, so I'm gonna use it in the creases. Okay, so this is gonna be a build up, so don't go too crazy right now at this stage. Okay, so I'm gonna use Aria and then bring the product right to the lower eyelid as well. I'm gonna do the same on this side. Next up, I'm actually going to use a flat brush. So this is a Zoeva Brush 234. And I'm going to go right into this color, which is called Aurora. Why is that word Aurora so familiar? Okay, I'm going to pat the product in while it's still wet. Yeah, I'm gonna leave some space for the outer corner because I need it for my darker color. It's looking nice, right? I think in the looking at myself right now, I feel like it's just looking a lot more turquoise. It's not looking as deep as I want it to be. If you do want it to be deeper, if you want it to be deeper, then what you will have to do is use a darker base color. So you'd use something that's dark brown or almost black, and then use this color on top, and you would get a complete different look. But because I used a really bright color underneath, that's why I'm getting such a light version of this. Okay, now I'm gonna go to another crease color, brush, sorry, and this one is a Morphe brush. Very similar to my 231 that I used first as well. It's just I want to use that brush again to kind of clean up. So now I'm going for the darker color, which is the Python. Ooh. I'm not pretending, I genuinely didn't realize the names. It's the first time I'm actually looking at it, so I'm kind of excited. So as you can see, I've brought it up a little bit into the crease as well. Now, if you didn't have that transition color initially, you know the, what was it again? Aria, sorry. This would have left a lot of patches. So you need that sort of transition crease color. Okay, with the same brush, I'm also going to do the lower lash line. Not all the way. Can you see I'm just like stopping halfway? And then whatever's still left on the brush, I'm just going to pull out the product a little bit so it doesn't look too round, but also a little bit elongated. Do you know what I mean? So I've just like pulled the product out a little bit more. Don't worry if it doesn't look too clean. We do have a concealer for a reason, so we can tidy up. Now at this point as well, if you wanted to do the eye makeup first and then do the foundation and the concealer and everything, you're more than welcome to do that. I just like to do it this order just because it's just a habit. But when I have my clients, however, I do it the other way around. If I know I'm going to give them a really heavy, strong eye, I do the eye makeup first and then I go on to the rest of the face. So it's completely up to you, but you know, whatever makes things easier for you. Now I'm going to go back to my 231 brush and I'm actually going to take this dark brown color, which is called Log, like a chocolate log. I'm really liking these names, man. And I'm just gonna go back into the crease and just darken it. Here, can you see? Giving myself a lot more depth. Looking okay. Now I'm gonna take a clean brush, and this one's a Morphe brush as well. It's just like slightly fluffier, so it's not so dense. And I'm just gonna tidy up a little bit. And what I mean by that is I just want it to look more blended. I don't want any harsh lines. The sparks, okay, I'm gonna use my finger. I'm just gonna go right to the middle of the eyelid. Can you see this? Pow! Now, what I'm really, really excited about is these new Fenty, what are they called? Killawatt, like highlighters, I guess. And the color of this is called Chillz. So as you can see, it looks really silver, but it actually has blue glitter in it. And I really, really like this. I'm gonna use my fingers here as well. And I'm going to add to the middle of the eye. You can add a liner if you want at this point as well. What I am going to do is probably not, because I really want the colors to pop, so I'm just going to add lashes. And the lashes that I'm going to use are Huda Beauty in Samantha. They are my favorite lashes anyway. Right, so some Duo Glue. Get some in the back of your hand. And then get a cotton bud. Take your Samantha lashes and line the lash line. Right, so I'm just going to use my Sure America lash color. Lift my lid. I mean, look at this. It's amazing, right? My Better Than Love, because in some countries it's actually called Better Than Love mascara. Still my favorite. Right, so I'm going to take my lashes and I'm just going to place it right into the lash line without leaving any sort of gaps. If you were gonna use more natural lashes, then you could sort of do your eyeliner and just go a little bit smokier and darker as well. But because I really wanted the color to be seen, and I wanted most of my eyelid to be seen, I didn't want to take up that space with a liner. I feel like most people always think that eye makeup means, even if you do a smoky eye, it means you have to add a bold eyeliner. It's not actually the case. I feel like the eyeshadow can just speak for itself sometimes. And don't you think, now that I've added the lashes, doesn't it look like I've got eyeliner on when I don't actually? So it's that illusion. So I feel like you guys should try it out like this. Especially for people who are petrified of liners because they can never get it right. I think this is such a cool way. You just need to practice how to apply false lashes, because that's another challenge, right? Okay, I think this is super nice. Now I'm gonna do my eyebrows while the glue is still drying. So I'm gonna use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in a chocolate. Is it called chocolate? Yeah, it's called chocolate. So I've used the comb part and just brushed out my, brushed my brows into place basically. And I'm just gonna use the pencil now. And I'm just gonna really, really softly fill it in. I'm not gonna even really define them because I just don't wanna go too heavy on the eyebrows. Yeah, so it's just looking a little bit cleaner. And I always do the outside first and work my way in. And I always think it's quite good to simultaneously work rather than doing one whole eye and then getting onto the other eye. That way I feel like you don't miss any steps and you know exactly what order of things you did, and it's a lot more organized that way. Okay, now I'm filling in. Can you see I've got a lot of gaps on the inside, so I'm just filling in these gaps. And then, because right now it's just looking a bit too harsh, with the brush I'm just gonna soften out the inside only, so it doesn't look so harsh anymore. Lipstick, I want to use a little bit of highlighter because I am going out tonight. It's not a daytime look for me, so I'm going to use my Hourglass. So I really, really, really like this one, and this is called Luminous Light. So I'm going to use an ink gloss, 3SSS actually. So I'm going to use this, just apply it right above my cheekbone. I wouldn't suggest this brush if you're going to use something that's much heavier and much glittery, because you're going to have a lot of that product. This is like super sheer, hence why I'm using this brush. Okay, and then I'm also going to use this Hourglass, and this is the Brilliant Strobe Light, much brighter. I'm just going to use this fast and just trace it slightly along the nose bridge, just so it looks a little bit sharper, and then the tip of my nose as well. Yeah, so it just gives the nose that appearance. I'm also going to use this is a Zoeva 230 brush. I'm just going to use this and just apply it in the inner corner of my eye. This highlight part, it's completely up to you. You can add it, you can not add it, but I just feel like it completes the look. Okay, and now lipstick. So I'm actually going to use a liquid lipstick. So this is the Nars Powermatte lip pigment, and it's called Just What I Needed. So I'm first going to use this color, which is quite nudie anyway, all over my lip. I'm going to use a Kat Von D Hawkind. Hair and makeup done. And what I did with my hair was just some waves, side parting, and just gave myself a little bit of hairspray just to kind of lift this part a little bit. That's it, done. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please, if you did like it, give it a thumbs up, you know, subscribe to my channel and share, tell other people. But I would like to hear some feedback, what sort of makeup tutorials you guys want to see, what kind of colors you want me to use next, and yeah, maybe one in Tamil as well, possibly.